Welcome back to United Talks podcast, and today we're doing a transfer roundup. Over the past couple of months and over the past couple of weeks, if I may say, basically Manchester United have been involved in a lot of transfer rumors, transfer sagas, ranging from, just sharply signing Matheus Cunha on the 1st of June, and then trying to follow up with Brian Mbumo, and then Victor Gyökeres as well, and all of that. So a whole lot of things have been going on, and it's all full of rumors and more rumors. And today we're going to break down six transfer stories involving Man United, ranging from world-class goalkeepers to exciting attacking reinforcements and youth prospects. So whether you are watching from Old Trafford or listening in and around the world, just get comfortable. We're just going to dive straight in, basically. Now, the first transfer rumor that started swirling from 2 days ago, before the Club World Cup was, I would say 2 to 3 days ago. That's before the Club World Cup final, was Nicolas Jackson on United's radar. Nicolas Jackson on United's radar. Now, let's start from one of the most interesting developments of the week. Manchester United have reportedly joined the race for Chelsea striker Nicolas Jackson. The 24-year-old Senegalese forward is drawing interest from several clubs across Europe, including Aston Villa and AC Milan. But it's United who are now closely monitoring the situation. Now, Chelsea have placed a massive £100 million price tag on Jackson, who still has a long-term contract until 2033. Now, that's a bold number, especially considering Jackson had a mixed debut season at Stamford Bridge with flashes of brilliance, yes, but also inconsistency in front of goal. Now, what triggered this interest from clubs is Chelsea's busy striker reshuffle, with João Pedro and Liam Delap arriving, and that could put Jackson's starting role in jeopardy. Right? United, meanwhile, are watching developments closely, especially if Rasmus Højlund's future becomes uncertain again. Now, before I ask you the question I have in mind with regards to the Nicolas Jackson situation, I was going to kind of advocate for this kind of signing, because I wanted to say maybe he could work out at Manchester United. But then looking at the transfer fee of £100 million and the long-term contract of 2033, like that's about 8 more years or 7 more years left on his contract, I'm now thinking twice about it, because I was like, Matheus Cunha has worked with strikers that have not been scoring 15, 20 goals. They have been scoring an average of 10 to 15 goals a season. In Wolves, he worked with Senne Lammens for one season. He was on loan from Celta Vigo. I was going to do a possibility of Man United potentially going for Senne Lammens, and then I realized that Man United actually cannot go for Senne Lammens because he was gotten from Celta Vigo on loan for one season, and then due to some add-ons that were achieved, it now became permanent. So I'm like, okay, Senne Lammens is done. That's why I didn't do the video. So, not to digress, back to Nicolas Jackson. I see a lot of people on social media saying, no, Man United shouldn't do the deal, blah, 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 blah. It's just a rumor. There's not been loads of credible reports about the Nicolas Jackson situation and all of that. Yeah, it's only Paul Hurst was the one that put that of Time Sport, was the one that put it out there that Nicolas Jackson was of interest to Manchester United. But it is what it is. We have to just move on. Now, the question I want to ask is Jackson worth £100 million? And that is actually debatable, because he had a horrible first season. A first season that also had to do with, going to the African Cup of Nations, and then also being inconsistent in goal and all of that. But United are clearly keeping their options open. But we don't expect a move unless Chelsea are significantly lowering their standards or their demands. If we are going to go for Nico Jackson at £100 million, then might as well just put 70 million euros and go get Victor Osimhen, because that's a way better option. But it is what it is, and we don't have the 100 million euros to £100 million to go get Nicolas Jackson. And Man United fans are also saying, obviously, he's not good enough, and then he is a Chelsea reject. It is. I mean, they're always looking forward to what the Chelsea fans are going to say, or all the rival fans are going to say, that he's a Chelsea reject, and Man United went for him. I think he might come to Man United if Man United are genuinely interested. He might come to Man United and basically score goals, but not be as consistent. But we have goal scorers in the squad as well, right? But then, yeah, I might stand alone on this, but the truth is, any striker that Cunha plays behind, that striker tends to get 10, 15 goals. Look at what happened, last season and 2 seasons ago under Wolves, and you understand what I mean. That's pretty much it. Next person on our list is Pervis Estupiñán. Pervis Estupiñán. Man United are eyeing Brighton's Pervis Estupiñán. From the front line to the flanks, Manchester United have clearly held early talks for Brighton's dynamic left back, Pervis Estupiñán. I don't know the direction this signing will go, because this is just rumor. Trust me. I don't know the direction this will go, because if you look at it from, it is basically according to Ben Jacobs, so it's very reliable. Manchester United have held talks to sign Brighton star Estupiñán, according to Ben Jacobs. They hold a genuine interest. Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see where it goes. But to continue on the Estupiñán story, the 27-year-old Ecuadorian is known for his ability to progress the ball and his excellent delivery into the box. He fits the mold of a Ruben Amorim wing-back, technical, mobile, aggressive in duels and all of that. Sources say United have spoken to the players' representatives but haven't yet made an approach to Brighton, and there's good reason for that. United are still fully focused on completing the Bryan Mbeumo deal from Brentford. And update on that deal, I don't want to just focus on that because it's too much of a saga and a headache, for me. But more updates on that deal is that the conversations or the talks have stalled due to Brentford's asking price or demands for the Mbeumo deal. But let's move, not to digress. Now, Brighton have already signed Maxime de Kuiper from Club Brugge, which potentially opens the door for Estupiñán to move. But here's the twist. AC Milan are also interested, viewing Estupiñán as a possible replacement for Theo Hernandez. Now, Estupiñán made 28 Premier League appearances last season, despite an injury-hit campaign. He averaged 1.8 chances created per 90 and completed over 76% of his dribbles. Serious apple for a wing-back. United interest is genuine, but it might drag on. Now, with regards to the Estupiñán one, I feel like United hold an interest, but why hold an interest when you have 3 left wing backs and Estupiñán is a left wing back? Unless you want to sign Estupiñán as one of the right wing backs and to compete with Diogo Dalot and all of that, that's fine. We also have Nuzima Jarawi there, so that was 3 on each side, which will make Ahmad going to definitely play as a 10, as a right 10, while right 10 while Cunha plays as a left 10. It depends, whatever, however we see it. If Estupiñán is going to be signed as a right wing back, then we can have at least 3 right wing backs, 3 left wing backs in Dogu, Amas and Diego Leon, and right wing backs we have Nusa Mazraoui, who can also play as a centre back, Diogo Dalot, and we will have Estupiñán. So coming from Ben Jacobs, well, it's reliable, but we're going to observe and see how things pan out from here. The next one is Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, contact actually confirmed. This is a big one, but it's a lot of outlets, not one outlet, but a lot of outlets. I tried to dig deep to find who was reporting that, and I was trying to get like proper details and all of that to get. So that's the third one, right? So it's Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. It's a target for Manchester United. And let's go into details. Let's know. He's the Barcelona goalkeeper. is a huge name connected to United this week. According to reports in Spain, United have made contact with the Barcelona goalkeeper's agent. The German international is reportedly unhappy at Barca after missing out of last season with a patella tendon injury. Now, he returned to find himself now behind Joan Garcia and Wojciech Szczesny. Now, in the pecking order, he's now third, basically, because they just signed Joan Garcia just recently. He even trained separately from the main group recently. Now, here's the intriguing thing. Ter Stegen, now 32, still has elite pedigree. He's desperate to play regular football ahead of 2026 World Cup. And a move to the Premier League might also be a perfect solution for him. But, and this is a big but, United's pursuit hinges on Andre Onana's injury. If Onana's hamstring keeps him out longer than expected, United may need a serious backup. Ter Stegen could offer a short-term experience and a long-term competition. Keep a close eye on this one because it could be heating up really fast. My thoughts on the Ter Stegen story: it's a good thing. Man United are going for him, or Man United are interested in him, or reports claim that Man United are interested in him. 32. Is he looking at being a Man United goalkeeper long term? I know goalkeepers last longer and all of that, but is it the pedigree of a goalkeeper that we want? He's a good keeper, no doubt, but is it the pedigree of a goalkeeper that we want, like in our squad? At least in the last 3 years, he's been better than maybe Onana and even the next target we're going to talk about as well. So, what do you guys think? Is Ter Stegen worth it? I've not seen anything in the reports that talks about his price and all of that. Maybe Barca will be willing to sell or maybe do an exchange or something. But it is what it is. We're going to observe that and keep our eyes and ears peeled for this one. The next one on our list, which is number 4, is Emiliano Martínez, reportedly Amorim's keeper of choice. Reportedly. Speaking of keepers, another saga bubbling up is the potential arrival of Emiliano Martínez from Aston Villa. Now, all I am seeing is from one source. Peddling this news, I looked and checked if there was any other source, and it was just one source, and that is Gaston Edol. That's the person, and in his tweet, he said Manchester United have made concrete progress in negotiations for Emiliano Martínez. They are already negotiating with Aston Villa. Martínez is a top priority for Ruben Amorim, according to Gaston Edol. And ever since he posted that, it has just gathered dust and started to blow and all of that. But in the end, what do you guys think? Because for me, I feel like we don't need Martínez. I've said that several times. I've posted videos to back, the reason why. He's not even an upgrade on Onana. Onana had more clean sheets than him last season. Onana had more saves than him last season. The only thing I keep hearing is, oh, he's a World Cup winner. He's a World Cup winner, and blah, 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 blah. Apart from winning the World Cup, what club trophy has he won? He was an Arsenal reject, went on loan a couple of times and then went to Aston Villa, and since then it's been like that. The Argentine World Cup winner, as everybody always keeps saying, is said to be Ruben Amorim's top priority in goal, and United have already opened formal talks with Villa, according to journalist Gaston Edol. Now, if we're going to talk about this Martínez thing, we need to break it down and be very sensible. At the beginning of transfer window, or somewhere in the middle in June, it was said that Man United were interested in Emiliano Martínez. No doubt. Then, at some point, they said, oh, this deal will only happen if Manchester United sell Onana. Now, Onana is injured and out for 6 to 8 weeks. This is week 1, right? 6 to 8 weeks, which would mean that it will lead us into the Premier League season, at least first 2 or 3 games. And then he'll be back. So what now happens to Emiliano Martínez when Onana is back? I know everybody's response is going to be he's going to sit on the bench. Onana is going to sit on the bench. But in truth, do you guys think Emiliano Martínez is the best fit for Manchester United? Right? Now, Martínez, who made 36 league appearances last season with 12 clean sheets, is now open to a new challenge after 3 excellent years at Villa Park. He turned down Saudi Pro League money, preferring to return to a top English side. Villa are asking for around 43 million, but United believe that the fee could be negotiated down. Another caveat to this, or another, do I call it a caveat? Another story to this is that Martinez got a red card against Manchester United. And then Man United are going to sign him to cover for Andre Onana, only for him to miss the first 2 or 3 games in the season. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't actually make sense, but it is what it is. We're going to see how that goes, because at the end, the Onana we're trying to save will come back after 2 or 3 games in the Premier League season, and then in those first 2 or 3 games, Atabandere will be in goal, or whoever is the backup goalkeeper, Tom Heaton. We have 3 goalkeepers, Tom Heaton, we have Atabandere. We also have Redek Vitek, who just came back from an interesting, wonderful loan where he went to play and had the most clean sheets in the league season. So I would say goalkeeper should not be our priority, because it was not, we considered 50-something goals, but we scored less last season. We scored 40-something goals last season, right? So I don't think goal concession is our problem, because we also had a lot of injuries. Even young Edin Heaven, who came in, had a lot of injuries as well. Came back, went back on injury again. Lenny Yoro, same thing. Metatarso came back, went on injury and came back again. Think about it. Goal scoring was our problem. Goal scoring was our problem, not goalkeeping. But it is what it is. Villa asking for 3 million. Manchester United is definitely not going to pay for 3 million for a goalkeeper. And he's 32. Think about it. Going to 33, right? So, yeah. Amorim views Martinez, it is said, Amorim views Martinez as vocal leader, a clutch performer, and someone who can command his box, unlike Onana's more passive style. You remember 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, before Onana's first season at Man United, Champions League final is Inter Milan versus Manchester City. Everybody was waxing lyrical. Manchester United target Andre Onana. Look at the way he played out from the back. Look at the way he did this. Look at the way against Man City. Despite the fact that Inter lost that final against Man City, this, da. Waxing lyrical about him. He had a horrible first season as a Man United player, and then that's in Ten Hag's second season, and in the third season he had a not so good season, but everybody was backing him because he was putting in the good numbers, right? Especially in the second season, in his first season rather. Now this is going to be Onana's third season. Now all people that are waxing lyrical about him have turned against him, and that's the same thing that will happen to Emiliano Martinez. Trust me on this. That's the same thing that happened to Emiliano Martinez. I've seen this happen to so many players over the years. We wax lyrical about the player, and the moment the player lands and the player makes 1 or 2 or 3 mistakes, we destroy the player. Ask Joshua Zirkzee, he's going to tell you the same. Destroy the player, if not for Joshua Zirkzee, who came back and started to show what he's made of. Everybody was like waxing lyrical, posting his videos on social media and everything. So it is what it is. But I don't think Manchester is going to bring out £43 million for a player like Emi Martinez, only for him to sit out the first 2 games in the Premier League season, and then for Onana to eventually now come back. It is what it is. So let's deal with it. The deal could go through if United can generate funds from outgoings, which brings us to the next news, which is for Jadon Sancho and the move to Juventus progressing now to a saga that just won't go away, and that's Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is, like, as I'm talking about it, I'm feeling a bit of I'm feeling goosebumps all over my body, because that's how frustrating he can be as a player. Jadon Sancho, before we got Jadon Sancho, it was a saga for almost 2 years. 2 seasons back to back. It was a saga, long drawn out saga by Dortmund. Right? Now, he's about to leave and he's still a saga. Reports from Alfredo Pedula and Football Italia confirm that Juventus have agreed personal terms to Jadon Sancho, but are pushing United to lower the transfer fee below the previously reduced £25 million. United paid £73 million in 2021 to sign Jadon Sancho, and now are likely to take a massive loss, but they have no choice. Sancho only has 1 year left on his deal, and the club is prioritizing an exit to free up the wage bill and to focus on more urgent transfers. Interestingly, Juventus reportedly proposed a swap deal involving names like Douglas Luiz, Dusan Vlahovic, and Timothy Weah, Whether that's realistic remains to be seen. Sancho is reportedly happy to wait for Juve, and he's willing to take a significant pay cut. United want to get this done before the US tour. And also, there's also rumors that Jadon Sancho wanted a severance pay. And Man United is not up for giving out severance pay, but the guy just wants to frustrate the club. And it's annoying and heartbreaking. If the rumors of a swap deal are true, I will gladly take either Douglas Luiz or Dusan Vlahovic for Jadon Sancho. Trust me. We get a midfielder if we get Douglas Luiz, who is also still good and still in his prime in his 20s. We get a Dusan Vlahovic, who is still young, 25, and can also, play as a top striker or even a backup, whatever the case. And then we solve our striking department. Either of these two, we solve something in the squad. The guy is happy to wait for Juve because he knows what he's trying to hold Man United to ransom, and that is bad. And I don't want to say it, but he's gonna make me say it because of the way he's doing things. He has by far surpassed many players who have been the worst at Man United and has become the worst Man United signing in recent history, including Alexis Sanchez, who was tagged as one of the worst. Jadon Sancho tops that list. But it is what it is. We have to move on. I'm tired of Jadon Sancho's saga back and forth. I've reported about him so many times, but it is what it is. Next one is Senne Lammens. Senne Lammens, goalkeeping prospect from Belgium. This one I like. Because of so many factors which I'll read in this news aspect of this transfer roundup. Now, let's round things off with a lesser known but interesting link, and that is Royal Antwerp's goalkeeper Senne Lammens. Now, at just 23 years old, Lammens has emerged as one of the top young goalkeepers in the Jupiler Pro League. Royal Antwerp recently signed his replacement as Lammens is officially on the market. Now, United have done their scouting homework according to a Belgian newspaper, Gazette van Antwerpen, and are joined in the race by Leeds and Sunderland. Antwerp want around 20 million euros. Easy deal. 23-year-old, come and probably be number one or be number two or whatever the case. 23-year-old, which is a reasonable fee for a modern goalkeeper with a resale value. Trust me, this could be an option if Atabanda leaves and United want to invest in a long-term backup with development potential. So, what do you guys think about all of this transfer news, all of this transfer roundup? Right? From Ter Stegen to Sancho to Nicolas Jackson to Dibu Martinez, Manchester United transfer activity is anything but quiet. But it's all rumors until you hear from people like Ben Jacobs, like Jamie Jackson, potentially like Fabrizio Romano, Laurie Whitwell. Manchester United is anything but, Manchester United transfer window is anything but quiet. Deals are bubbling, offers on the table, and the future of several big names hangs in the balance. Now, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. If we're talking about other things with regards to other news, there's news also that Sesko had a chance to join Arsenal, but listened to his agent and was demanding high wages. And Roberta went to Gyökeres, and now the only teams in for him are Saudi clubs and Manchester United. So those are the basic trending stuff. United are closing in on the signing of Emiliano Martínez and all of that. And then a few other stories around the reason why the Brandon Bomo deal hasn't worked so far. But make sure you like, share, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't miss anything as it relates to Manchester United, especially when it comes to transfer scoop or anything updating or even a tactical breakdown. Let's wrap it up here, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.